Welcome to Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today, our mission really is all about sharpening your English-speaking skills. We're going to dive into some of those really common pitfalls.
Things like pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, the usual suspects, you could say.
Exactly. And we want to offer not just, the corrections, but maybe a little insight into why these mistakes happen.
Right. Understanding the why can make a big difference.
The goal here is to help you speak English more confidently, more accurately. So where should we start? Maybe pronunciation.
Yeah, let's start with how things sound. It's fundamental. And it's fascinating how, tiny tweaks in sounds can just completely change meaning.
Oh, definitely. Like vowel sounds. That duration thing is huge.
It really is. Think about beach, the place with sand.
Yeah. Long E sound.
Right. But shorten that vowel just a little and suddenly you've got bitch. Very different word.
Very different vibe, yeah. Or like beat, the rhythm, versus bit, a small piece.
Same pattern. And you see it with sheep versus ship.
Or sheet versus, the other one.
Yes, exactly. Or even peach and pitch.
That little stretch or cut off of the vowel sound, it really is everything.
It really highlights that learning pronunciation isn't just mental, it's physical, too. Training your mouth, understanding airflow.
It's like vocal gymnastics sometimes. And speaking of tricky sounds, the thee, that's a classic giveaway, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You hear tree for three, or maybe tanks instead of thanks.
Right.
And it often happens because, that specific sound might just not exist in the speaker's first language. Getting the tongue placement right.
Just gently between the teeth, right? Letting the air flow.
Exactly. It's a subtle movement, but crucial for distinguishing those words.
Okay, another habit. This one's interesting. Adding an E sound before words, starting with is.
Ah, yes. The S-school phenomenon.
Yeah, S-school instead of school. E-sport for sport.
A style. Is smoke.
Why does that happen? Is it smoother to say?
It often comes from the phonetics of the first language, where maybe starting a word with ist or ist isn't common. So add in that little vowel sound makes it feel easier to pronounce.
But in English, those is blends are perfectly fine on their own at the start.
No extra E needed. Just start with the S.
Okay, good tip. Let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk grammar. This is where thinking in another language can really trip you up.
Definitely. Basic question structure. How often do you hear something like, where I can find the book?
All the time. It's a direct translation of the word order.
Exactly. But in English, for questions, we usually need that little flip. We bring the auxiliary verb like can or do or is before the subject.
So not where I can find, but where can I find?
Precisely. Or where are you going? Not where you are going.
How much does it cost? Not how much it costs.
That auxiliary verb does the heavy lifting for the question structure.
It really shows you can't just swap words. You have to know the underlying English patterns.
Syntax matters.
Okay, another one. Age. How often do people say, I have 20 years?
Very common, especially coming from certain language backgrounds.
But in English, we used to be, right? I am 20 years old.
Yeah, it's a state of being, not something you possess. It's just how English frames it.
Interesting difference. And what about I am agree?
Ah, yes. Adding am before agree.
Why? Because agree feels like an adjective sometimes.
Maybe. Or the equivalent word in their language functions differently. But in English, agree is just a regular verb.
So simply, I agree, no am needed.
Correct. Just, I agree.
And we absolutely have to mention the third person singular S, that little S.
The bane of many learners'
It
existence.
seems so small, but forgetting it makes things sound off. He liked pizza.
Instead of he likes pizza. Or she sing well.
Should be, she sings well. It's crucial for subjects like he, she, it in the present simple.
It's a fundamental part of English verb conjugation. Gotta have it.
Okay, prepositions. Always fun. What about explain? People often say, she explained me.
Right. But explain usually needs a little helper preposition.
She explained to me.
Exactly. That to connects the explanation to the person receiving it. Certain verbs just like their preposition partners.
Gotcha. And double negatives like, I didn't meet nobody.
Sounds logical in some languages maybe, but in standard English, it's a no-no.
Because the two negatives kind of cancel each other out mathematically.
Sort of. It creates confusion. The standard way is, I didn't meet anybody, or I met nobody. One negative is enough.
Clarity is key. Okay, what about the? That tiny word causes so much trouble when not to use it.
A big one is with general statements. We talk about concepts broadly.
Like life is beautiful.
Exactly, not the life is beautiful. Same for general plurals or uncountable nouns. Dogs are friendly. Information is useful. No, the needed when speaking generally.
Use the only when it's specific, right? The dog in my yard, the information you gave me.
Precisely, when you know which one you mean.
Even word order in simple sentences, like with like. I sometimes hear, I like so much dogs.
Yeah, it sounds a bit clunky. The intensifier usually comes later.
So I like dogs so much. Or maybe better, I really like dogs.
Yeah, I really like dogs. Sounds very natural. The adverb placement matters.
Okay, past tense. Using didn't? What's the mistake here?
Often people still use the past tense form of the main verb after didn't, like she didn't told me.
Ah, but didn't already carries the past tense signal.
Exactly. So the main verb should go back to its base form. She didn't tell me.
Same for questions with did, right? Did you go?
Not did you went, correct. Did handles the past tense. The main verb stays simple.
Good rule to remember. And quickly, subject-verb agreement with people.
Ah, yeah. People looks singular maybe, but it's plural.
So people are, not people is.
Definitely. People are waiting.
Okay, that covers a lot of grammar. Let's switch to vocabulary. Word choice mix-ups.
Always tricky when words seem similar but aren't, like tell and say.
Right. How do you explain that?
Well, generally, you tell someone something. There's usually a person receiving the information. Tell me the news.
And say is more about the words themselves.
Yeah, often quoting or just mentioning what was spoken. He said he was tired. You don't always need to mention who was told with say.
Okay, that makes sense. Here's a polite one. Would you mind?
Haha. Yes. This confuses people.
If someone asks, would you mind if I open the window? And you don't mind, what do you say?
You say, no, I don't mind, or no, not at all.
Because saying yes means
Yes, I would mind. It means you object. It's counterintuitive for some learners.
politeness is complex. Okay, ying versus ed, adjectives for feelings.
Boring versus bored.
So the movie was,
The movie was boring. It caused the feeling.
and therefore I was.
You were bored. The ed describes your feeling.
Same for interesting and interested, exciting and excited.
Exactly the same pattern. The thing is, ing, the person feeling it, is ed. And a quick note, excited usually means like enthusiastic, happy, emocionado, not necessarily sexually aroused.
Good clarification. Okay, job versus work.
Subtle difference. Your job is your position, your title. I got a new job.
And work is more general, the activity.
Yeah, the tasks, the effort. I have a lot of work to do. You go to your job to do work. Work can also be uncountable.
Got it. What about well and good?
Classic adverb versus adjective confusion. Good is the adjective it describes a noun. A good book. Good food.
And well is
Well,
usually the adverb describes a verb or action.
Right. She speaks English well, though note well can be an adjective when talking about health. I don't feel well.
Okay. But generally think good for nouns, well for verbs, like bad and badly.
Exactly. Similar pairs.
And please, let's address more better.
Oh, please, let's just, no.
Better is already comparative, right? It means more good.
Precisely. So adding more is redundant. Just better. Same with worse, not more worse.
Okay, do versus make. Both can mean hacer in Spanish, right?
They can, which causes the confusion. There are patterns, but also many fixed expressions.
Generally, make it involves creation, like make a cake, make a decision, make noise.
Often, yeah. Creation, construction. And do is more for tasks, activities, general actions.
Like do homework, do the dishes, do business, do good.
Not the good starting point, but honestly, there are many collocations you just have to learn.
Fair enough. There is versus there are. Simple one?
Should be simple, depends on what follows. Singular noun.
There is a cat.
Plural noun.
There are two cats. Match the verb to the noun that comes after it.
Exactly.
Okay, since and for with time.
Also common, since points to a start time.
I've been waiting since 2 p.m.
Right. And for indicates a duration, a period of time.
I've been waiting for 3 hours.
Perfect. Since starting point for duration.
Here's a funny one. Constipated and congested.
Oh, dear. Yes, definitely don't mix these up.
Constipated is about digestion problems.
Yes.
Mhm.
Difficulty
Yeah.
going to the bathroom.
And congested is when your nose is blocked.
Right. A stuffy nose. From a cold, usually. Very different physical states.
Indeed. Use congested or stuffy nose for colds. Got it. Okay, more tricky pairs. Assist and attend.
Assist means help. Can I assist you? Means can I help you?
And attend means to be present at something.
Exactly. Attend a meeting, attend a conference, be there.
We mentioned age before, but worth repeating. Used to be, not have.
Yes. I am 30, not I have 30.
Okay. Comprehensive versus sympathetic.
Comprehensive means thorough, covering everything, like a comprehensive report.
And sympathetic is about understanding feelings.
Right. Feeling sorry for someone, understanding their situation. A sympathetic listener, not related in meaning at all, really.
Fabric and fabricate.
Fabric is cloth, material, like cotton, silk.
And fabricate.
To make something up, invent it, often implies lying, like fabricate an excuse, or just to manufacture something.
So, related to making, but different from the material.
Mm.
And pronunciation of guess.
That silent U, it's just eyes, like yes, but with a G.
Not eyes.
No W sound in there. The U is just there to keep the G hard, basically. English spelling.
Don't get me started. Okay, actual versus current.
Actual means real, the true thing. The actual cost was higher than the estimate.
And current means now, present time.
Exactly. The current situation, my current address. Happening now.
Spelling errors, double letters. Any common example?
Oh, loads, like business, one S, then double S, address, double D, double S, accommodation, double C, double M. Writer only has one T. It requires attention.
Yeah, proofreading helps. What about saying difference?
Adjectives in English don't usually take a plural S. Different is an adjective.
So you say different things, different people. The noun becomes plural.
Exactly. Different stays the same.
I versus me. Subject versus object.
Crucial. I does the action. Me receives the action or comes after a preposition.
I called him, he called me, she gave it to me.
Perfect. I before the verb usually. Me after the verb or preposition.
And we mentioned the before, but just to reiterate, don't overuse it, especially with general ideas.
Right. Keep it for specifics.
Using a and one together, like a one. Redundant?
Usually, yeah. Just a book or one book, depending on emphasis, not a one book.
Subject-verb agreement, again, making sure the verb fits the subject.
It sounds basic, but it catches people out. We go, he goes.
And the big one, avoid direct translation too much.
Absolutely. Think in English patterns as much as possible. Languages have different logic.
Phew. That's a lot of potential pitfalls.
Yeah.
So what's the main strategy to get better? Avoid all these.
Well, awareness helps, definitely. Knowing what to look out for. But the real key, I think, is immersion.
Just consuming more English?
Yeah, listening and reading. Lots of it. More than just focusing only on speaking or explicit grammar rules sometimes.
How does that help fix mistakes, though?
Your brain starts to absorb the correct patterns naturally. You hear things said correctly over and over, and it starts to sound right to you. It helps you self-correct over time, often without even realizing it.
Like how kids learn their first language.
Exactly. It's about massive exposure to comprehensible input.
So listen to podcasts like this one.
Haha, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch movies, read books, articles, whatever interests you in English.
And crucially, don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Absolutely not. Mistakes are how you learn. They show you where the gaps are. Everyone makes them.
The only real mistake is giving up, right?
Couldn't agree more. Keep practicing. Keep exposing yourself to the language.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. What's one small thing you could do today or this week to just increase that English exposure?
That's a great takeaway. Even just 5 or 10 minutes a day makes a difference over time. Maybe switching your phone language or listening to an English song and looking up the lyrics.
Good ideas. We really hope this deep dive into common English errors has given you some clarity and some practical steps.
Yeah, remember consistency and just being willing to learn from those inevitable mistakes. That's really the path to progress.
What's maybe one error we talked about that particularly resonated with you that you thought, yeah, I do that sometimes? Reflecting on that can be useful.
Good point. Self-awareness is key.
Thank you so much for listening. We look forward to our next episode.